He's I'm not super well versed in the world, but he's like he's a 3-time battle rap champion, right? 2?
Soon to be 3.
He's arguably like one of the greatest of all time.
Yep. But that's where I'm saying like I would. All right, it's another edition of KFC Radio. We are back in the trenches once again. I find myself embroiled in another rap battle.
This is. I mean, I don't know what the response is supposed to be to this. I've been laughing quite a bit because, I mean, you've made the worst bed possible. You've made a bed of hay on a prison floor in Thailand.
Starting a battle rap with a world-class 2-time champion battle rapper, probably not the best decision. Probably not my smartest of moves.
I don't know if you know this yet. When I did the yak on Monday, we were talking about Rone's tweet to Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
And so probably while Rone was in the booth, I was saying into a microphone, it's important to remember with Rone, he can fucking cut you down. I was like, every once in a while, Rone will get big and turn to the Hulk.
I probably should have looked at the Ben Stiller response. All Ben Stiller said, I thought that when the Ben Stiller thing first happened, I thought it was going to be like he was trashing Philly. The Ben Stiller tweet just said, I love Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, yeah.
The tweet was just, Rich Eisen said, no player ever made me feel like Bernard King did, but Jalen Brunson has done that. And Ben Stiller said, I agree. Or agree. That was it. And yeah, maybe that should have been my first hint that Rone might be prone to overreacting. But
well, you can't call a battle rapper washed up. And like, did you expect this?
No. I don't think no. Bro, I mean, for what I said in 1 minute, man?
I didn't watch either.
I said like you have a pointy nose and you look like the girl from A League of Their Own.
I'll say that I haven't watched either. They asked me about it on Stool Scenes yesterday, and I was like, Daly, have you listened? And I was like, no. And they were like, why? And I was like, well, would you watch your friend fight a grizzly bear? Like,
I mean,
but
listen,
I saw yours too.
Yeah, I guess if that. I mean,
it's like if you walk to a basketball court and Michael Jordan was playing, you're like, hey, dude, you suck. And he'd be like, well, let's fucking go.
I guess. Except it's more like, I mean, what we do here is like, I thought of it, like I had texted Rone before anything even started, and I was like, yo, it's me and Ben Stiller versus you and Pat Bev, let's go. And like we were joking like that, and I talked about the wow, okay. But I didn't think being like, I mean, I specifically, I said, tell him he has a pointy nose, because I was like, I don't want to like do it. I don't want to do this. I was like, I'm going to pick out something that's like, you know, whatever. You know, you look like the girl from The League of Your Own. You washed up Butler, like Pat Bev's, you're Pat Bev's bitch. Like, I mean, yeah, like I took a shot at him, but I did not expect this. And now I'm in a real pickle. Now I don't know what to do. One, because trying to beat a battle rapper in a battle rap is rather difficult.
I would not.
It's rather difficult.
He's not a battle rapper.
Yeah.
He's arguably the greatest battle rapper of all time.
Ever do it. But I also don't want to take it laying down. And I have written something that I think would fly. I think would fly.
Please don't.
I know. But then, so I texted Rone and I
dude, don't.
I can't. You know me. I'm not gonna. I'm weighing my options, but there's no way I was just gonna be like, no, not even consider it.
I mean,
the way I do things, I was never gonna like be like, whoa, I'm still very. I gotta be cautious, but my immediate reaction was like, let's go.
I'm like Mick. I'm like, he doesn't want to fucking fight you. He wants to kill you.
Well, that's the other thing. So I texted him being like, if I respond, is this thing going to really go south? And I expected him to be like, nah, like, have fun with it. Let's do our thing. And he was like, I'll empty the tank. So I was like, well, then in that case, I probably will just steer clear of this. Because things will go worse for me with what he'll say. Again, I think what I wrote, it's, by the way, this is, and again, this is being very silly because it's not like I'm a real rapper or writing like real raps, but for what this is about, like writing jokes about people, making fun of them in rhyme form. Every real rapper who's ever in a battle when they're talking about like being on the clock should reply in like one fucking day, in like one fucking hour.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with what I wrote like by yesterday afternoon. What was Kendrick
Where
Lamar
is
doing?
it? Where is it, real quick? Does anyone have a lighter as well?
I think it would be good. I was surprised with myself with what came out, but I know where he's going to take it. And in order to say what I was going to say, I have
to. See, I don't even know the battle rap world. It's actually also very funny that this is coming on the heels of you.
I know
being like,
well, what's really
J. Cole's a pussy.
I know, bro. It's exactly. I'm 100% pulling a J. Cole because I'm like, this will lead to more real life problems for me that I don't want to deal with. Like when this is all said and done, I will have to deal with repercussions of this outside of the rap for like years to come. So it is a J. Cole. It's very like, I don't want to deal with that. So now the difference being, if I was a rapper, I wouldn't ever have to pull back. But yes, it was. I mean, I'm like literally J. Cole being like this, like is not sitting right with me. That's the other thing is like I don't know. Up until now, I think Rone is a battle rapper who does that, but I was also like, oh, okay, damn. I didn't know it was like that.
It's very funny that
it's actually very similar in all ways. Like J. Cole, like I've always been like, Rone, you're a fucking incredible battle rapper. I like every time he does it, I'm like, I like fangirl.
Yeah. So what were you doing?
Because again, I didn't think like I don't think that response was equal.
But that's not. I mean, you don't respond equally, right?
Yeah, I mean, he has every prerogative to just fucking launch the nuke. I don't know. I like thought those were like playful jabs, and he fucking threw a knockout punch. So, and that's the thing is like, I think if I say what I said, then he will be totally justified to unload the tank. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
it's hilarious that we're 40-year-old podcasters, and it's like I might ruin my life for a battle rap real quick.
Well, that is the thing. I have too many.
You got cases pending, bro.
I
know. It's very rap-esque. I think you do what I suggested. I've thought more about my suggestion.
Feitelberg said do a opera dance, interpretive dance.
I changed it. I think go interpretive dance because then you can't fight him in his arena. Yeah. Right? He's a battle rapper.
I'm not an interpretive dancer.
But neither is he, so we're on equal playing field now. Right?
So Rone will be like, fuck, I got to reply with my own interpretive dance.
Let's hope. Right? Right? Like if you just hit him with like a
am I dancing to his? What am I dancing to? Or just
your move, Rome.
Do like a little Rob McElhenney. I mean, it's provocative. It'll get the people going.
He doesn't know what to do now. Rome's like, fuck, I didn't see that coming.
Imagine people just being like, okay. Like just dead silent.
Well, that's another thing
finish
that
and I'm
happens.
like, it's just dead silent.
Everyone's just like, what the fuck? Kevin might have won. I don't know what he just did. He starts shaking your hip back. Ha! Like those Haka New Zealand guys.
I was gonna say you're doing the Haka. I'm feeling very big Haka vibes here.
I got a sweat going.
I mean, the thing is, I do love doing it. Like the first time was like the most fun I've ever had making content. I thought that was like the most Barstool thing ever.
But I thought you kind of remember that. You're like, I wish we didn't do that.
Nate, I wish.
Oh, right. Dave was the first one.
Nate was stupid but Nate was like the perfect example of like, and I can't believe I'm still dealing with all this. But like, I posted that, and because I said some things in there that were, 8-miling what Nate was going to say, and boy, did that not go over well. And I was sitting there and I was like, and I remember that writing some of that stuff in that battle. And as I did it and as I recorded it, I was like, this is going to be such a problem. But this is my job. This is my career. This is what I do. Like someone comes at me, I have to come at them and I'm not going to stop, blah, blah, blah. And then I did it, and then that night I was like, that was not worth it. That was not worth it. I remember, like, I can hear I just remember being like, oh, nope. And then it was like, okay, I replied to Nate, like, I have, I have my pride or whatever, but now shit's real fucking bad.
I mean, that was a decade ago.
And now it's literally.
And you're like, yeah, I'll do it again.
Well,
I respect that.
And this time around, it's not just like, oh, is it going to be a headache? It's like, oh, it's just there was a lot of money talk from Rone, and so then if I don't know, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to make it for myself, be like, I did it. And never release it. Play it I'll leak it to a couple people if you guys want to hear it, but I'll never release it because I don't know. I can't go round 2, especially if he was like, I will unload. So we all know where that's going to go, and it's just going to be bad.
I think I don't have this ability, but I'm going to say you can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't.
I know that's where I said something to my brother. I was like, the question is like, do I have enough left in the tank? Like, this is a young man's game. Do I have enough in the tank? And can I go at a battle rapper? And he wrote back, "Prob not." And I was like, that's that's not
crazy.
The confidence I needed, but okay, I needed maybe a dose of reality on that one.
It's crazy you're even considering it. Like,
I think what I wrote is really good. If it didn't come out as good
that's
as I
even
thought.
worse, I think. is that you're not considering it for like, so we got to go back and forth. It's like I wrote is good, and I'm gonna fight the battle rapper.
I'm not saying what I don't even really expect to beat him, and I'm sure the next round would be super ugly. But as I started doing it, like I said, I like this stuff, so I was like, shit, you know what I mean? I get excited about it, but it's probably not smart to let my excitement get in the way of what will probably go pretty poorly for me. But oh man, there's a couple lines in that.
How'd it go last time? Terribly. Should we do it again?
Well, it went terribly. That was a whole different story. But I think it would be more like the first one, which was like, really releasing songs and going at each other and shit like that, and it was fun. If it was different circumstances, I think I would let it fly. But and even just like let it fly and be like, he's gonna fucking wallop me in round 2 because this is what he does. But I would be like happy to be a part of it. That's what I was even. It's so surreal that this is all happening at the same time in the real rap world. Like literally Kendrick Lamar and Rone's song came out on the same day.
I thought that was a good tweet from you.
Yeah. And I think Drake is about to launch too. So let's focus on that one. But what I was saying, like with the J. Cole stuff, I was like, you got to do it. Like you might win, you might lose, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where I would, if it was different circumstances, I think I would be like, I will probably get smashed again, but let's do it.
Why drop the word probably?
Yes. I will definitely get smashed. I'll get smashed again.
He's I'm not super well versed in the world, but he's like he's a 3-time battle rap champion, right? 2.
Soon to be 3.
He's arguably like one of the greatest of all time.
Yep. But that's where I'm saying like I would. I don't think anyone would expect me to win. I don't think it's a huge L to lose to. And it's like you said, if Michael Jordan dunks on you, it'd be like, yeah, Michael Jordan beat me in basketball.
Yeah.
It's like an honor to be beat by Rone in a battle rap. But yeah, I just don't know. It's probably long term versus short term. Like it's definitely one of those things where it's like I think I don't want to like overhype it or whatever. I think what I did would be well received, and then would probably get smashed, and it would be fun for the people. I think it would be entertaining for the people, but just like at what cost? Because like I said last time I did it, I think I'm very much overdoing shit that will be a problem for me for the sake of like fans for like one afternoon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like one afternoon, maybe somebody would be on my side, and then they would hear him and be like, "Oh no, you're dead," and blah blah blah, and then they go back to their life, and I go back to my life, and it's exceedingly different. So, yeah, what can you do?
Can we get a sword? Maybe lay it down.
I think you need to show it to John, and then John could.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any of this. I'm out of this. I'm not fucking with the battle rapper.
That's the other thing too. Is like if you do it, again, like I said with J. Cole, like if you do it, you got to do it. Like when J. Cole did it, he kind of like half-assed it. You know what I mean? So if you do something and you record it, you have to like say everything, and then it gets very real. And then like, first of all, I mean, like I said, up until this, I thought me and Rone were pretty cool. And I don't.
That's the thing with like kind of what I was saying. Where like you can be very cool with Rone. He still knows.
Yeah.
It's like a teenager. Like that thought you have when you walk by a teenager, where you're like, "Here's the things that are wrong with me," and it's exactly what they would say.
Yeah, but I think. But anyway, my point was that like if that happens, then it's like people take sides, and it does. It's like I don't want all that with people who there actually is no bad blood. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't, Sass and Francis are on his show and you're on my show. It's like you said, like, I don't want to be a part of this. Then it becomes a whole thing. And it's like, I definitely don't want that with people that it's one thing if it's like Dave and we're not friendly, or, someone we're Michael Rappaport where we're enemies, but it's like, I don't want to do this.
So what did you expect as a response? You expected a rap song?
I didn't know. I didn't think it was like if he did. I wasn't thinking like if he didn't put out a song, I wasn't gonna be like, wow, Rone didn't put out a song responding to my 1 Minute Man. But I thought like if he did do it, it would be like, a couple things that he had in there, and then like Knicks and fucking Sixers talk the way it was. Like I don't know, that was kind of what mine was. So I thought if he responded, it would be. I actually really didn't. I was like, I don't know if this would like is enough for him to like take the time to like get in a booth and get a beat and do all that. But if he did it, cool. But I thought it would be like, like I said, like Ben Stiller, fucking Pat Bev, like tag team, shit like, throwing jabs. But,
You jumped in the gorilla cage. Like, is that a fucking gorilla?
Yep.
What the fuck is a gorilla doing?
And that's yeah. I mean, as when that's your forte, you can't. Like I said, you can't just go halfway. So I guess lesson learned. Lesson learned on that one. Yeah, that is a mistake I won't make twice. Or maybe. I don't know. Maybe I will. Speaking of taking L's, one that was just absolutely not deserved and maybe the highway robbery of the century, Last Gun and the Bullet at the Chicago Film Festival.
Mm-hmm. Do you consider it an L?
No, now I consider it a win.
Oh, okay. Because I know it was stinging in the beginning, but...
Was it really? I thought you got Best Director.
Yeah, I know, but it was
like personal glory. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no, it was one of those things when like people who win like MVP were like, I would trade all of that for a championship or whatever. Like, I've never felt that because I've never really won anything. So I was like, oh, I would 1,000%.
Well, I
you would trade Best Director for Best Picture?
I was going to say that's a testament to him. Yeah. I think the fact that you wanted a fictional short form movie Oscar for your team more than the personal glory that you got, I think is a testament to why you're so good at what you do and why that movie came out so good and why it should have been you. No shade to Tommy Lay and those guys. They made a great horror movie. I was talking with him too. I'm so impressed with when you look back at the beginning of Barstool and the videos we used to make and what these guys can do now. I'm like, Hollywood better be watching with the production and the acting, because like your pipeline is right fucking here, man. These are the next people that you should be looking at. But
Nick said he's like, I wish I had the power to fire Pavs. Yeah, he's like, you just shouldn't be here.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was like, you're right. Shut the fuck up.
I'm almost like, no, Hollywood, don't come here. Because when they come a picking for Pavs, like, I'm pretty sure they'll pay him better than what's going on here.
I was going to say, give us match opportunity. We probably will.
Yeah, but at least give us a shot. If I had to guess, I don't think we'll match it. But I don't know. They say, there's strikes all the time and shit, right?
Yeah,
notoriously underpaid.
Yeah, this is career stability here at Barstool Sports.
Yeah, longevity over here. But
I feel bad now, like, hey, can you make this podcast clip?
Well, no, but I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you had texted me saying something how upset you were about it, and I was like, showing you a lot of the feedback and the way the public is reacting, and sometimes when you lose, you win.
Yeah.
And
I think Nick had that in First Survivor.
Yes, yeah. Nick fucking literally
Did he
made more money.
Yeah,
and just got like showered with like Nick was so funny and so amazing and he's the best and this was the bad call and like I don't even who won that year. Oh, Tommy. No.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah.
Tommy. Yeah.
So I guess Tommy did get some shine. I was gonna say I don't even remember who won, but it was Tommy. But I think this is one of those cases where when you lose, you win. I mean, it was, and almost, for the guys who won, they might be like, fuck, shit.
Nobody better to lose to than like Tom Lay.
Yes, that's the other thing too. Is like, you lose to a guy like that.
And it's not like you lost out on any money or anything.
Well, that's the other thing. If it was the Oscars, maybe, but it's. But hey, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a. You guys did so well. I think this is the beginning of a tradition here. So.
I didn't even put two and two together until just now. I read a quote from Ethan Hawke yesterday. I think he had like something in Variety, and he was talking about when he lost Best Supporting, it must have been, for Training Day, and Denzel whispered in his ear, and he goes, you wanted to lose because you don't want an award to raise your status. You want to raise that award status. And and then Ethan
sometimes
Hawke,
I wonder if those are. God, those guys are smooth like that all the time. Or do these things get like romanticized after the fact? But that's a great call.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke was like, and he's right. That's just the way Denzel thinks. Like the Academy Award is more impressive because Denzel has a couple. Denzel's not more impressive because he has a couple.
So I feel like, what's an example of that? Like almost maybe like Robert Downey winning this one. Like that doesn't make his career.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's almost like Ryan Garcia, like how he just like. Like how
run with that.
He didn't actually like win the
he did.
belt. No, but he won. He didn't actually get like the belt, but he like he like bodied them and like showed what he could do.
That's a very good comparison. That is a very good comparison.
That was really fucking cool.
That was great.
And it was so concise. Like it was great. Well done. That is cool though to be like, because there's times when you win. I don't think you ever want to be the guy on stage being like crying, like I never even thought this was possible. You almost want to be like, you're goddamn right. Fucking best supporting actor. Like,
they were all great. I do think I thought Brandon was great too. I thought Brandon was. I actually texted Brandon live during it. I was like, you are dominating this.
Yeah,
like, he was
couple
really
great
really
performances.
Funny. Yeah.
But I mean, people said it best. Like Last Gun on the Bullet is like, I'd watch more of that.
Yeah,
give me more of that duo.
It was a lot of fun. It was like,
and it was like there was a couple like Zob being like, it's coming. Like, enough funny, but with enough real. I mean, I talked to Kirk Minahan afterwards, and I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. You'll never be taken seriously in the cinema world again.
It's funny.
I said, I don't know. If
well,
you're
also
on the
Dan
tape.
having a vote. Dan said that he just voted. He's like, I have a goldfish brain. I just vote for what I saw last.
Yeah. Tom, I think Tom or who somebody said.
But also Charlie was great too.
Charlie was great. I mean,
they
it
were
was
all
like
way
I
better than I thought they were
understand.
gonna
It was more like I wanted to win so bad because everyone on my team was like 48 straight hours just gave me like 100%. I was like, want to win it so bad for you
them,
guys.
yeah.
And then if we just swept, probably just wouldn't even have thought about it at all. Just like, oh, that's cool. But like losing was like, fuck.
Losing makes you feel
so bad.
Dude, losing makes you feel more than
well, way more. It felt good to be.
And it's a bad feeling, but it's like you're in it,
Yeah.
And again, it's like sometimes it feels silly to talk about these things, like.
Yeah,
but in our world, these are the real things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, I mean, there just should have been a cash prize attached to that, but whatever. That's a whole other story. I hope you realize.
Yeah.
I also think on top of just this and the praise you got, and like the fans being like, you were robbed. It's almost like playing in the playoffs where you get like the spotlight. You know what I mean? It's like we all know it. We've been shouting it from the fucking rooftops for how long? Now?
Yeah.
Every time Out of Order drops, every time one of our video drops, it's like, yo, look at what this guy can do. But, if you're not a fan of our show or you're just like whatever that is, but all of a sudden it's a whole company-wide thing. It really is like being in the postseason where you watch a team like for the first time. And it's like, I hope, I don't know what that means. It's a little different here, but it's like, I hope there are, I don't know, more opportunities for you and people get like the level of talent we're talking about here is fucking off the goddamn charts.
I think.
I mean, these things look like a movie and a TV show. I mean, is that like? And you had did you text it to me or did you say it to me?
I don't remember.
You said something that was so fucking awesome. I don't remember what it was. but I think I asked you, like, how are you even fucking capable of this? And you said something like, I am just so obsessively. You said something like, I am obsessed with doing this, and I like go all out. Fuck, I'll find it. We'll put it in maybe after the fact. But it was so like, this is what you need to be in order to do this shit and to do it on a good level. You were like, I am just so obsessive with learning how to be better at this. And I was like, holy fucking shit, let's go. It was very inspiring, especially like,
how are you so good at this? I'm mentally ill.
Yeah, basically.
I feel like it was almost because like you didn't go to. You always like say because you didn't go to film school and you overcompensated and like accidentally became really good.
I think Quentin Tarantino said that. I'm serious. He was like, the best film school you can do is just making movies with your friends or something like that.
I don't know where this is. I will find it though. But it was like, I mean, you have to have natural talent. But then there's this extra level of like going after it. That is,
it feels incredibly good to care about something a lot.
Yeah, dude, that's
very
something.
Rarely.
A lot of people, once you get older, you don't have that. You know, it's like you care about your family, but like you don't care about work. You don't care about the work you're turning in. You don't care about the job you're at. Like, and it's just like, what I guess they do hobbies. I got some DMs about people our hobby talk. Ugh.
What?
Let me see if I can find this one. It was just like that hobby conversation was driving me nuts. Like, get outside. You need to like teach your kids to fish and go on a hike and like teach them how to camp in the woods and like, the whole fucking thing. And I just wrote back, this sounds awful. And he wrote back like, point taken. But like it's your hobby, but it's your job. And when your job is your passion, and I don't know about that whole corny, if your job's your passion, you never work a day in your life. It's still,
you work,
and there's still times that suck. And, like as much as that was awesome, you were flying back and forth and you were pressed for time and you were trying to juggle your real job with this job for, a week. And it was work. And I'm sure you were like, fuck this at points, but it's a lot easier to keep going, and it's a lot better to make money knowing like if I learn at this and I get better at this and I do better at this, I will make more money. And because there are places it's like you can't get better at like Excel spreadsheets and get more money because of that. You might get a promotion or a little bit of a raise, but it's not like you raise up, So I think people underestimate how much you do need to like learn. I think like with even just AI coming and when there's new platforms and there's new algorithms and new rules, it's like you have to fucking learn and figure out how to do this before you go and do it. Yeah. Unless you're just like a superstar and you have a ton of raw talent. It's like if you want to do this shit and you don't know how to film or you don't know how YouTube works or you don't know what the platforms are looking for, like you're not gonna succeed at it, Yeah. That's the like the lame part of it, is sitting around. I'm sure you're reading books or watching fucking YouTubes on.
I tried reading books. I'm out on books.
Out on books. Books are a bridge too far. I'm sure you watch YouTube videos on how to do this.
Just right? YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. Hey, bro, YouTube tutorials make the world go round, dude.
100%.
If you don't even go to college, just sit on YouTube and you can figure out whatever the fuck you need to do. So, congrats on your win-loss, because I honestly think this probably was better publicity. And
but I never considered it a loss until we're sitting here right now. Like you did what you won best.
Director. I won best director. It was like it was so stupid to feel that way, but it was like I felt like I felt like I lost like a champion. Like I felt like I lost a basketball championship. I hadn't felt that way since like senior year of high school.
I think your analogy is great though. It's like if you won an MVP, but like it also shows his goal going in was like pure-hearted. Like, I want this team to win. Because if you were just like, fuck it, I want to win best director, and you did, you probably wouldn't have been devastated. But the fact that you were shows that's what you were thinking, and I think the reason that you were thinking that is why you made a great fucking movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but again, shout out to Tommy Lay and those guys.
The best.
I believe
another
they'll be
OG
making their out of order, not debuts, but this week.
Yeah.
Tommy Lay is?
Tom we filmed one when I was out there, and Brandon Walker's in it as well.
Yep.
I mean, I said that after Last Gun on the Bullet too. It was like, people being like, I would watch more of this. It's like, you can watch, not this exact story, but you can watch more high quality video created by Pavs every single week, just as good if not better. Oh, and Rat Race is out.
Yeah, the big news.
The big drop.
Pavs didn't win anything, but we won.
We
$4,000.
Rat Race. Who's saying I took an L this week? I don't think so. I had my big win yesterday when we won the Rat Race. The worst thing I've ever done.
You didn't have fun like
no,
okay.
I did. I mean, no, I should say I did not have fun doing it. I don't know how to word this. Because I didn't look back on it like, I want to do that again. And I didn't look back on it being like, that was fun. I definitely didn't look back on the, what's it called? Climb NY? Scaling the edge.
Yeah.
And want to do that again. But
that, I actually saw the clip of that. It's so apparent that my thing is broken.
When you're leaning?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's funny.
If you
all of us look, it's not a very good clip. Like, it does not capture.
It does not capture at all. No.
And by the way, it was not that good of an experience, but the picture and the video definitely don't capture it at all. But yeah, we're all just kind of like sitting on like the toilet, and you're like,
bro,
you're just like leaning with your shoulder.
Dude, for those who are unaware, and I believe we haven't said it anywhere, like, we get up there and we're at the top of the thing. It was an arduous climb to get up there. It's like 70 miles an hour winds or something like that. They shut this thing down. They shut the edge down. They were like, oh, we never shut this down. We'll do it in a hurricane. And then we were the last people to go.
Yeah, as soon as we were done, they said no more for the day. It's too dangerous. I mean, I was watching. Hats were getting blown off. People were doing that thing where you lean forward and you walk into the wind. You can do like the Michael Jackson. It was that gusty. And I said to them, "This looks a little dangerous if that's how windy it is." And, hurricanes would be fine.
Their names were like Showtime. He's a man. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, he's like, "What's up? I'm Showtime."
Making the meteorological calls on this one.
And we get up there, and they're like, okay, we had this like attachment, and he's like, okay, you're gonna want to strap this. He's like, put this on your shoulder here, and then wrap it around your back.
It's
and
an
then lean
exceedingly
forward.
difficult amount of instructions for a highly dangerous thing. Yeah. Like, if you don't do it right, like, everybody, you weren't the only one. All three of us, Smitty was with us too, right?
Yeah.
All three of us went like right hand, left shoulder. Like, we were all confused for something that theoretically is like going to save our life.
Yeah. And then I saw you guys do it, and I did it, and I just leaned forward, and I felt like,
no,
that's not any tight.
No way.
And I looked at him, and I was like, is this good? And he kind of went, yeah, you're all right. And I leaned forward like lightly, and I was like, no, this isn't holding me at all.
At all.
And so I just got
you
like,
were just
I still leaned, but I just had all my weight on the back.
Like a squat.
Yeah.
Literally like squats, you put your ass out. You're like an Instagram model trying to make that ass pop.
I was like,
that's so funny.
This is kind of a far fall. It isn't as far.
Well, you wouldn't. I asked about that though. Because I think they did say people have fallen doing that.
But you
would
that wasn't
caught.
Clear to me, because I probably would have done that on purpose.
I was thinking that. I was like, this motherfucker probably would have liked that. I think you would have still been safe, but like, it would not have been, exactly what you thought it was. Yeah, these are the steps here. So when we were the last ones, I think by a wide margin, to get to the edge. And at that moment, I thought we lost because we were the last team there. And so I thought we were done for the day. And the rule was one person gets to go up and do it, and the other person like goes and gets the next clue. And I was like, well, we're done, and I'm here, and this stuff doesn't scare me, so we might as well we'll both do it, and let's get some content for KFC Radio. And that was because they had just told me all you do is strap in and lean over the edge.
Yeah, see? I'm well aware my thing does not work.
You're so far back. You are so far back, dude.
Watch my ass after that. I'm like,
that is so funny, bro. You're not even.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go over because they're like, yeah, yours isn't in a. Because there's a guy on the right. Yeah. I looked at him and I was like, is this strapped in? And he's like, he kind of get like a funny face. He's like, yeah, you're all set.
The rest of us are just hanging like dead bodies. Feitelberg's walking like, is this acceptable? He says.
What when we like?
You still got your lean on there.
But my weight is all on my heels.
Your heels.
It's
Yeah,
100% on my
Well,
heels.
again, you didn't miss much. Like that picture sucks.
Yeah.
That does not look cool. Like people were like, "Yo, it's gonna look awesome." It's like it looks like 3 fat guys. Like, like look at my double chin and like my tits pop out of this fucking thing. It was. John loved it. You loved every second of it. I didn't
love it. I agree. This didn't really do much for me.
I don't know why.
If we were on an actual edge and it was to the ground, that would have been more exciting.
I think having the 50 stories down, whatever it was.
No, I think it was like
20
15.
stories. Yeah, like that does definitely lessen it a lot. But even still, like I don't know. I think I learned like heights don't scare me, but they also like it didn't get me going. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I also don't think it's a great view. Like the city.
You're not high enough for it to be.
But I'm also saying like if I was at the top of like a volcano and I saw like the beautiful Hawaiian.
Yeah.
This is like. I don't know. The buildings look smaller, and you can't. I don't know. It's just like it's the city.
Like I've only skydived in like beaches.
Yeah,
that I don't know. Although that's a little boring too because
it's just
the
there's
beach
nothing
the whole time.
I guess there's 2 sides to it. I guess I would have to experience something like this in a more traditionally beautiful landscape. But I was just kind of like, I also was still just so mad about this happening that I was like, are we done? Okay, great. Here's the fucking view. So I thought we were just gonna go out and lean over, and then this dude says, all right, it's time to go to base camp. And I said, I don't like that word. Any activity that involves a term such as base camp is probably going to be something I don't enjoy. And then the walk down, bro, like it was 155 steps up. It's like basically like almost like a ladder straight up, like a few stories, whatever it was. And the walk down, my legs were like so jelly.
Yeah.
And I think if I remember correctly, I was still in front, and I think we were still like strapped in. So I was like, I can't like hold up the gang, but my legs were just like just wobbling down the stairs trying to get. And then we had to go another how many hours?
Yeah, that was probably.
I thought we were
11
done.
a.m.
I thought it was over. That was only half of a leg, and so we keep going. And I remember there was 2 moments that I called. I knew exactly where we were going. The next spot. And I said, this motherfucker is going to make us go to Staten Island at some point.
Yeah.
Just because it's the worst borough and the furthest borough, and he's going to do it. And I opened up the Clue, and I see Colin Jost and Wu-Tang, and I was like, we got to go to Staten Island. And you had put it in my head that it would be the New York side of the Staten Island ferry.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that I can do. And then we learn. We asked some cop, like, we had the name, and he was like, that's not on here, that's on that side. And that was our breaking point, where we were left with only a couple teams left, and they really wanted the money. And I was like, all right, let's fall on the grenade on this one. Like, let's take the L. They wanna keep going really badly. We don't. We've done enough for Clemmer, and we fucking win in Staten Island. And it was the easiest. We just got off the boat and turned right.
Yeah.
and the other teams were right there with us. And then we watched them walk by and go down to the bottom of the ferry to get out a different exit that I guess they thought was going to be quicker. And all you needed to do was get out, walk like 10 feet, and walk right. And I will never forget when Booze popped out of nowhere with the camera and was doing the walking backwards cameraman thing. And I was like, and I look at him, I was like, are we the first ones? And he just goes,
yeah.
Oh man, that was brutal.
That was.
It was. We were too. Like I planned on throwing it, but I couldn't. We couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like if it was another 100 yards, I would have been like, let's slowly, and they can pass us. But it was like we're standing on it. We'd have to actively, try not to win the fucking game right now. And then the second time was well, yeah, go ahead. The Staten Island.
Well, on that side, it was like, I was like, let's just go over.
Right.
Because it kept being like the friend who wants to go home early, and you're like, let's just do one more beer.
Yes. Yes. And you made great points, though. It was like, we're here, we're doing it for content, we're doing it for Clemmer. Like, just do it, you know. And I was like, you're right. You're always right with those things. You're always right to make me do the things I don't want to do and push me out of my boundaries. But man, that sucks. Staten Island sucks, bro.
Staten Island.
Because
I think it's my first time ever. No, we did the Staten
because
Island
also it's 30-minute waits for the fucking ferries.
Yeah.
And like Clemmer wanted to be like, you guys have to wait while I get on this ferry 30 minutes for another 30 minutes. I was like, bro, that means we're not going to get back for like another hour and 40 to get to the next clue. I was like, Clemmer, we're not doing that. And he was like, but you have to give me time. I was like, fine, Clemmer, but I'm not waiting on Staten Island for 30 minutes for no fucking reason.
What he kept saying, when I touch ground, I touch ground.
You don't leave until I touch ground.
You do a great Clemmer impression.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But then we win Staten Island, and I remember Jake Bass saying, I said something like, you know, hopefully the last stop is near the office, so when we're done, we're done. And he was like, you probably couldn't pick like a further away stop. And I said, I know where this is going. And I was like, we are going. He's a baseball nerd. We're in Staten Island. The Bronx is the furthest away. We are going to Yankee Stadium. And as we're running down the steps of that whole like Staten Island ferry port, I see this landmark created in 2009. And I didn't even read the rest. I actually haven't seen it, but I screamed. I don't know if it was in it, and I screamed, fucking Clemmer! And it like echoed through the little escalator thing we were in, and people like looked at me like I was a crazy New Yorker. Oh, God, that was terrible. And then I had visions of like, it's going to be like because he got the tour at the building. I was like, he probably like got the tour at Yankee Stadium. We're gonna have to go in. It said home.
It said like it was like you'll find your something at home or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like I definitely thought we're going to home plate. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're making me go to this fucking hellhole that I like avoided my whole goddamn life, and now I'm gonna go in it for Chris Clemmer's rat race. I think it was just that Yankee Stadium home plate, the home plate entrance is there or whatever, or like that's the big part of the stadium that is like considered home. But
yeah, because I don't think that's where home is in the stadium. I think home is back here.
Couldn't tell you.
I'm not positive.
Could not tell you. But that's definitely where it says like New York Yankees.
Yeah,
blah,
but
blah.
I do think home is on that side of the stadium. I've only been a couple of times, so I'm not really remembering. But I think it's closer to the subway.
But you ran ahead and you were like, we found it, we did it, and I was like, all right, we're good. And like I started walking, and then Meek Phil's running, backpedaling, looking at me. He's like, yo, the girls are right behind you. And I was like, fuck. But yeah. Rat race, Chris Clemmer rat race challenge. I believe, like both of you've won championships as like a blogger, like your team has won, but like,
yes.
Is it both of our first win? Have you ever won anything? I have
don't
not.
Believe so.
Bro, we did it. We won something at Barstool. We did it. Yeah, look at that. We are champions, man. I do like watch. Clemmer is so dedicated to this. And really loves it. It's a lot like watching Pavs. Like he takes a hold of it and he loves it and it comes out good. And I believe my guess is this will be like Survivor in a year or two. This will be like not that this isn't a full-fledged production, because this one was. The first one was kind of like pop around here. This one was, at least within the confinements of one city, was like the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of production we had on it was nuts.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, I bet you, some of the big dogs will get involved, and it'll be traveling, further, different cities and shit. I could see that happening. So, what a shot! I never realized, like, when I've seen shots like that on TV shows, I was just like kind of taken for granted. They were like, dude, like, you got to give us a shot like that. You know what I mean?
I don't even remember doing it.
Yeah, they said to us, they were like, can you do like a flex or like a something? And I was like, oh, these things are always, they're always manufactured. So yeah, shout out to Clemmer and everybody who did the rat race. Gia and Grace were just fucking gutted. I felt bad for them.
Yeah, I think put that up to woman number 4 we've made cry at this company.
out of like 5. Technically, we've probably made
Jackie,
Jackie
we ever
cry.
made you cry?
By
Yeah, maybe like
by associate. You know what I mean? Like we haven't directly, but like you cried when you didn't.
nothing that you guys have ever done has ever made me
Right.
cry.
Like when you deleted Ari's thing. You
Yeah,
cried.
yeah,
So like
I did,
technically.
All right, 5 it is.
5. Let's go. All right, let's get to some voicemails.
Yep.
Fellas, Jackie, what's good? Listening to today's episode. KFC Pavs, thank you so much. Feel so validated when y'all were talking about getting hard on plane takeoffs. I thought it was literally just me. Never thought I would tell this story, take it to the grave. But since I'm with brethren, on a plane once, it was summertime, had the thighs out a little bit, had on some short shorts. And then, the plane is taking off and comes right up. Got a boner. And then turns out I was in the wrong seat. And the flight attendant was like, hey, you're actually in the wrong seat. Can you please move? And I said, I can. Just give me like 5 minutes. Like, if I would have stood up, I would have been in jail immediately. I was like, I'm just going to give like 5 minutes. They're like, no, it has to happen now. Like, we're about to take off. I'm like, cool, I hear you. I really need 5 minutes. So I had to be escorted off the plane, and everybody's someone dick anyway. So all for nothing. So all I have to say, I guess, what's this plane story? Or
Escorted off the plane?
Either.
Wait, what?
Now, I am with him in the sense I've started getting hard on planes too. I don't think I've always done it. I think it's a more recent thing.
I mean,
I think once I stopped going to church, I started getting hard on planes. Like, we gotta get hard somewhere inappropriate.
Sliding doors. I mean, I would love to hear that. This podcast validates people for their mental health or their feelings about this and that, but we're the guys who let you know it's okay to get hard on modes of transportation. If that's the cross we bear, that's so be it. I don't understand. You can always do the flip and tuck.
That is one of those things, though, that is more in theory than in practice, I feel like. Like, even in school, I don't think I ever tucked up. Maybe I did.
Speak for yourself, brother.
Like,
Well,
I
do it
almost
without
think it's one of those
hands.
things
I could
that's...
just, like,
yeah.
pick it up like that.
Particularly on a plane, I think I... Now,
Wait, what?
We gotta...
Like, you could almost, like...
Do the waistband tuck with no hands?
Yeah, if you, like, really...
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm impressed.
I was,
You got to be
like-
wearing like sweatpants for that. You can get it under
Well,
a
I mean,
belt
we're,
with no
we're
hands.
using elbows and stuff like that. Like, if you're not
Why
going...
not just use your goddamn hands at this point?
Because you don't want to grab
Sit
your
there like
crotch
grabbing
in
my
public.
dick with my elbows. Hey, nobody knows I'm doing anything weird over here.
Give me a second, real
Hang
quick.
on, let me get my... Nothing funny going on here. I'm fine.
I guess it's ridiculous.
I mean, I know what you're talking about where if you stand in a certain way, you can like tuck it back. But to get it up in the waistband with no hands, you are a goddamn magician. I've absolutely very much put that into practice in real life.
I don't think I have. Maybe I'm just not remembering, but I feel like I haven't like actually had to like stand up. Well, no, I mean I definitely have. This is wrong.
Yeah,
I definitely have.
I think you're
but I
crazy.
don't think in public.
I mean,
Like I've answered doors in hotel rooms and stuff like that, like with my waist half hidden.
As much as I'm joking now, it's pretty rare these days, pushing 40, that I'm just walking around hard in public. It's just sometimes I can't get hard when I want it to be hard, let alone get it hard when I'm just walking around doing the rat race. So, I'm not saying I'm sitting there doing it every day, but if that were to happen, I am waistband tucking in full practice every time.
I
Now, but what
probably
I don't
just
understand is getting escorted off the plane, because at that point you have to stand up anyway.
just
You know what I mean?
do it.
Well, like, by the way, there should be a universal rule. When someone like looks you dead in the eyes and says like, "I need a minute,"
Yeah.
it means like I might shit my pants. I'm having a feminine problem. Something is going on right now that you need to respect, sir.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
like I would think you can tell. Like I feel like I can
the
tell.
look of fear in the eyes. It's like,
No, give me 2 minutes. Right? I mean, I gave it when we did Surviving. The production
yes.
woke me up and I was hard, and I was like, I'll be out in 2 minutes.
and your dick you didn't waistband tuck there, just went down.
No, I just like punched myself in the leg.
I don't know that one.
I mean, just pain causes an erection to go away. Unless you're a freak.
I was going to say.
Well, brother, I'm a normal
Depends
young
on what
man.
you're into.
I don't like.
There's a whole bunch of people listening that just went.
I was sitting on that couch just going, really? I got myself there.
That's some.
Yeah, bro. I tell you what, I'm not hard right now. On a plane though, I think like because you have enough stuff. Like I always have a bag with me.
That's the real thing. Or like you could be super weird with it, but like just walk like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
hunched over.
Yeah.
Now we do have to address the elephant in the room here. Our caller looks a little different than us.
Sure, it might be
easier
more difficult
for us to hang a high to boner than it is for everyone else.
He's doing the waistband talk. He's got to pull his pants all the way out, flip it up. It hits him in the face. Got to tie it up.
Yeah. The waistband tuck might be a white thing.
He's like, yeah, we do like the suspenders tuck. It goes over our shoulders, guys. I'll never forget when I heard that Patrick Ewing takes his dick out of the toilet. That is insane. It's so many people have said it, and it's specifically about him that I feel like it's got to be true. But if you are on the toilet bowl and you got to take your dick out and rest it over the side, that is fucking insane.
I ended up jerking off every time I took a shit. You can only hold your dick for so long.
For real. If I'm flopping it around, I'm just finishing the job.
Can I have my hand on my penis for like 5 seconds before I'm like, well, I might as well use it.
Yeah, I just get lost at the escorted off the plane because at that point you are getting up and like you would just switch the seat unless he ended up.
I guess they might have just flipped the switch real quick and like
you're gone.
Yeah,
like you know it's too late. You already like disobeyed an order,
right?
And we can't go in the air with you. I would have caused a scene if that was me. That would have been another mistake I would have made in my life. I would have been going, I had a boner back there, and now you're throwing me off the plane. Would have gone viral for that. But more people need to respect the random public boner.
Yeah,
the RPBs are a real thing.
That's right. That is a thing, right? I feel like I've heard that phrase before.
Random public boner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's public. It's random something boner.
Yeah. I don't know if it's RPB, but there is something like that I'm thinking of.
What's up, KFC Radio gang? So my girlfriend and I live in a van, and she noticed that when we're driving down the road, I'll just read off any sign that I see. So I'll be like, oh, Miners Saloon, nice. It doesn't really matter. Just my brain saw it, and I have to read it. A big one is the high occupancy vehicle lane, like the carpool lane. I always just yell, hove! And so she gets a huge kick out of this. Do other people do this? Is this a form of ADD? Do I have Tourette's? I don't know. Let me know.
Real quick before we get into that, he said something about shorts, thighs out. Oh, that is true. Shorts, thighs out. He did say he had on the plane. How does this look on camera? Because I'm very.
I can't imagine great. I cannot imagine great, bro.
I
never wear shorts for that very reason, and I mean the white.
It's
going to
be incredibly distracting. How white my legs are.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Upset City.
Yeah. As for the van, yeah, people do this. It's infuriating. It's my dad does it.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think it's ADD. I don't think it's Tourette's. I think it's old man syndrome. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's aging quickly. He doesn't look that old. But I think this is like a dad thing. It's like the same way dads. Like I know dads like my friends' dads that age who are still like opening up maps and talking. Which way are you going to take? You're going to take the service road, or are you going to get on the LIE? Because
But that's a different thing.
But it's like the cousin of this. It's like you're just interested in the signs and the roads and where you're going to the point that you have to say it out loud. Feels very like what. So fucking what, dude?
I'll get in fights with my dad. I'm like, I feel like I'm driving in the car with a 6-year-old who just learned to read.
Yeah.
Like you're just reading the signs that we're driving by.
It's like a child.
Yeah.
It's like they revert to like infant status. Yeah. They're just it's like you just have a running. Why don't you say like tree and fucking
TREE?
Yeah. Right. Like just you don't have to announce everything.
I know you can read, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can also read. I also saw the sign.
Now, something like, the HOV
The hove is different.
That's different. You throw up the rock, you say hove. I get it.
Yeah.
I sure have done that. But to just be like, fucking Long Island Expressway,
Yeah.
Massapequa,
It's like
going to Roslyn. It's like, yeah, we're on Long Island. These are the places on Long Island. You know.
Chevy Chase in European Vacation when he's like, "Look at that kid's Big Ben."
Yes.
And when they're stuck in the Rotary in England,
They just keep going.
What's the other thing? Big Ben and Windsor Palace, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, Big Ben, Windsor Palace. Hey, look at that, Big Ben, Windsor Palace.
That's what I think it is, though. I think because it's a dad thing.
Yeah.
I think you're just early onset dad.
Well, yeah, which lines up with a man who lives in a van.
Yeah, also, I hesitate to say this because you are a man who lives in a van with your girl, so maybe you guys have some sort of deep love. But I would venture to guess in more cases than not in this situation, she does not get a kick out of that. She fucking hates it. She fucking hates it, and she's politely trying to bring it up in a way so that you notice it, so that you shut the fuck up, so that she doesn't have to say, "Shut the fuck up, I know that the sign is there."
I think like the woman version of it is like saying deer and cow. Like I can't go by deer and cow without being like, sorry, deer.
I would say,
That's a man version too.
I was gonna say, if you see a deer and you don't point out a deer, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're sick in the fucking head. Deer are like
A deer is
super-
different. Cat
Cat might be a
depends if
girl
it's a
thing.
stray or not. A stray,
Yeah.
but what's a
Cow.
cat?
Yeah.
Cow.
Cow.
Cows.
I think any animal that's not a house animal.
Yeah.
You go, oh, horse, cow,
Yeah.
deer.
Rabbits, I get.
No, rabbit.
Yeah.
That's a rabbit, and then it goes fast. Totally. You gotta call it the rabbit because you think it's a squirrel. It's not a squirrel. Oh, it's a rabbit. I think anything that's not normal is fair game. Cats might be a girl thing though. Like, oh, look at the kitty. Not many
I
guys
said cow,
really.
but yeah.
Oh, you said cow.
So you never say cat.
No.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Okay, well, then we invented one. Girls like cats. All right, last voicemail. Mother's Day is almost here. Get your Mother's Day gifts now. Literally, I tell you this every time we do Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. Press pause on the podcast right now and go handle your business and then come back. What I want you to do is go to Aura Frames to buy your mother a new digital picture frame. These are all the craze, and they're perfect for your mom or your wife, or the mother of your kids, or the grandma, where you're going to have pictures on pictures on pictures. All we do is take pictures of our kids now. It used to be you get one picture taken at Christmas and you put up a frame and you're done. Now we have so many new pictures all the time coming through, and with a digital picture frame from Aura, you can have unlimited pictures scrolling through at grandma's house, at mom's house, in the family house, whether it's, Keegan playing baseball or Shay at her recital or just whatever they were eating and doing something goofy. You can have these pictures cycle through so other family members can see them. You can send them around to each other. They have an app that links up with it so you can control it, share it with everybody in the family. So you're giving more than just a digital frame. You're giving her the thing that she loves the most, feeling close to you and the kids. So you can't beat it. It's actually a useful gift that moms and parents alike will all really enjoy. And it's the right vibe for Mother's Day, right? So right now, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. You can get the perfect gift by visiting Aura Frames. That's AURA frames.com/KFC to get $30 off plus free shipping on their best-selling frame. That's auraframes.com/KFC. Use code KFC at checkout to save. Terms and conditions apply.
What's going on, guys? I just want to get your thoughts on something that's bothering me too much. And it's that no one properly shakes hands anymore.
Yeah.
Everything is a dap up. And I think it's gotten way too far. Because I've been in situations where it's whether a professional setting or I just don't know someone or I'm introducing myself. And I go to shake their hand and they go to dap me up. And then obviously it ends up becoming awkward and a thing. And it's getting there are just situations where there's no need for like any sort of dap up. If I'm with my close friends, fine. We've been doing it since high school, so why change now? But if I run into my boss who's no younger than 50 years old, shake my hand, dude. Like, does this sound stupid? I think that there's too many situations now where we go in for a dap up.
I don't necessarily think. I think we need to come up with a uniform one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I think we should err on the side of handshake. But if you run into your boss and he's old and he tries to dap you up, that's fucking weird.
I guess, but what's old? Like
50 plus.
Okay. But also,
And also,
we work in a weird world.
Yeah,
like Dave. I mean, I would never.
We don't touch
I've only touched Dave once,
Yeah.
and it was the weirdest thing.
Dude, it's so weird. I remember one time in his. What was your experience touching him?
Tell
me about the time you touched Dave.
It was the when he got the luxury box for the Celtics game we went to, like a Christmas party, probably like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had gone out, like me, you, Dan, Keith, maybe, and we met in a hotel lobby. And Dave came in, and I was the first person in line. And it was just like, I don't know, it was kind of a celebration. Like, it's the end.
No, don't get me wrong. You should be touching him. Everybody should be shaking hands and saying what's up. Like,
and it was just a handshake, and it was
so
just
weird.
like, it was weird.
He
And
doesn't
I
do
was
it.
like, I'm never touching him again.
One time we were in his pool doing a rundown, and we were like all floating on a raft, and I like started to like kind of like roughhouse with him in the pool. You know what I mean? Like for the
You
camera.
did? You said
That was weird. He was like, and I was like, okay, I won't do that ever again.
It was. I mean, like, I could see why he would have a weird reaction to me because, like, I wasn't the foreigner, quote unquote.
Yeah,
like
we're
he
coming
sees
from
me
New
every
York.
day.
Yeah. But that's part of it. Like, if you see someone consistently, I don't think you need to shake nor dap every single time you see them. My closest friends, my brother, my family, like, I don't do anything to them. You know?
Yeah. I give hugs. I'm a hugger.
That's fine with your family. That's cool. Like, I'll just be like, goodbye. But I see them like every 48 hours. You know what I mean? I see my family a lot. I have what I like to call, like, it's almost like DAP radar. Like, I feel like I can look at a guy and be like, that guy's a handshaker. That guy knows how to DAP, you know?
Yeah,
And usually it's a young thing, style thing. If I've heard you talk, you know, I can pick out the dads. It's mostly like when I'm picking out dads. You know what I mean? There are dads who are dads, and there are dads who just have kids. You know what I mean? Two distinctions there. But you do get caught in a world where I'm like, I'm clearly going to shake this guy's hand because he looks old, and he's like, I'm going to dap this guy up because I'm young. And then we're like, ugh. The other day I got one. I had like my pinky got stuck outside of the handshake, and thankfully the dude went, well, that was a weird one, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he called it out, and I was like, yes, thank you, that was terrible.
I did it Monday. I saw Greg Olson, and when he came on the act, and I dapped him up. I got up because I was the only person on the show who's met him before. Mm-hmm. So I got up and we gave like a hug, and then he was only on the show for like 5 minutes.
What? I guess so, yeah. I can't believe that you were the only person who knew Greg Olson on the act.
Well, Dan,
But I guess it
obviously.
makes-
But Dan was already up. I think Dan had gone to get him. Mm-hmm. So of the people sitting, I was the only person who knew him. And so I got up and gave him like a hug. And then he was on the show very briefly. I think he did the gauntlet twice in like 5 minutes, and then he left. Mm-hmm. And then when he left, he came around. He's a gentleman. He gave everyone handshakes again. And I was like, and then he came down like I was getting up. So I was like, oh shit, I'll get up.
And then you're squatting. You're doing this. Like you're over the toilet and a porta potty. Oh, the worst.
And I sat down. I was like, I fucked that one up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a case-by-case basis, but if we are to make it uniform, my rule would be your first time meeting somebody, you should shake their hand. And then from there on out, I think you make your decision on whether you're going to be a DAP guy or a handshake guy every time.
I'm a hug guy. I think I'm even
can't
worse.
hug
I hug everybody. I go in for the DAP, and I always smack that hand away, and then I give a hug.
That's awkward, too, though, because there are times where if you can put your hands out for a hug, but it can also look like putting out for a DAP. So you have to have both hands clearly like bear hug. Because if you go like this, and then the person swings and misses, and then you're hugging them with their hand in. But like, I don't think you're running into enough acquaintances in your life at this point.
No,
because there are a lot of people that I am interacting with that I would never fucking hug. But you're like doing like a bat like that?
Usually I'll do that, but it's not one hand. I'll bring the other hand out for a full hug.
You can't be doing that with people outside your circle. I
think I do that with a lot of people.
With who?
Like friends, and like people I know from like, I
think it's like if we were to go to a comedy show with one of our comic friends, and in the green room we saw them. I think that's an appropriate place.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. Those are kind of the places I see the most people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You are still like you're at a bar, you're at a show, you're with young people, you're all that stuff.
By the way, I will buy anyone who wants tickets to go, whoever wants to see Uncle Vanya. It's unbelievable.
Uncle Vanya?
Yeah.
Am I the only one? I don't know what that means.
It's it's a play I went this weekend. It's Steve Carell. I mentioned.
I heard about this. Yes.
It's awesome.
I'll go see this,
dude.
I don't know anything about it, but
it's a Chekhov play from like the 1800s.
Okay.
And it's so funny. The cast is.
It's a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought this was very serious for some reason.
No, I mean it's a 1800s Russian play, so you probably.
Well, that's why I thought it was.
But like,
that's not exactly. I don't think of funny when I think of 1800s Russia.
Dude, it's awesome. It's so good. The cast is insane. If anyone watched The Good Place, Chidi, I believe his name is. Chidi's in it. Steve Carell's in it. Allison Pill from the Newsroom. Alfred Molina, and then my guy in the middle here, who I couldn't place until like halfway through the play, and then it fucking hit me as Sherman Tanz.
Who's that?
Sherman Tanz from Veep.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that is a good squad. That is a great.
It was great.
It's such a flex when guys like actors like him are just like, I'll go do Broadway now.
This is Steve Carell's Broadway debut.
It's even crazier. And it's like, yeah, I can do that. Because it's one thing when it's like, oh, I'll return to the stage. You know, I used to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
He's done like it's his Broadway debut.
If you met Steve Carell, what would you do?
Steve Carell Handshake.
Yeah.
But also, like,
If you saw Steve Carell for the second time, what would you do?
Depends what we did the first time.
Yeah.
It
is
how
a
the
case
first
by case
time,
basis.
like, not even just the first handshake, but how the first meeting went.
Yeah.
And all that
now, and we're talking the DAP.
Like, here's an example. I can't give it to you.
That was amazing. That was borderline Vinci. Here's an example. I can't give it to you. I mean, it was once. You didn't pause for a second. Here's an example. I can't give it to you.
One thing that's bothering me, if we're doing airing of grievances, and we don't have to do a lot of time on it because I think everyone in the world agrees, Jerry Seinfeld. I don't dislike him as much as most people do. Like, I still love Seinfeld. I know he's a curmudgeon sometimes, and not in the endearing way that Larry David is.
Right.
But, like...
That's exactly it.
Again, this isn't like I don't have a unique opinion on this. Like, It seems like it's the world agrees.
I feel like people are turning to, like, Jerry Seinfeld's a dick.
But not even, it's like just what he said is that's also very popular, and it's just undoubtedly wrong.
Yeah.
Where he's like you can't make comedy anymore. You can't. He had like
all of it is so ridiculous.
He cited an episode, a specific episode that you read and you're like, you could do that no problem.
No problem.
Where he's like Kramer becomes a rickshaw guy, or he has homeless guys running rickshaws, and he says something like, they're outside anyway. Could you make that today? Could I get a network to air that today? No way. Yes, you absolutely could. People who say, like, you can't make comedy or there's no good guy, like, you're just not watching them, which is fine, and you're just saying something that you want to be true. They're
also insulated in their world where it's like, a bunch of the people around you probably are like,
yeah.
That's not the whole world, though, bro. There's a lot more going on now. And I think he comes across as very preachy when he used to be more like, this is just what happens in life, and like it's crazy. Yeah. And now it's like, I'm telling you how to do your life or whatever.
And I'm sure he's asked.
It's actually, this ties into the handshake. I hate what he did to Kesha, and I know at the time people like loved that.
Yeah.
That was just, you're just being a dick.
Right.
You're just being an asshole. It was like a excited girl, and you like blew her spot up and clowned her in front of everyone. Okay, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Fuck that.
Next episode. See ya.
We've got a new YouTube channel. It's called the KFC Radio Clips channel. It's a short-form YouTube with all of the best interviews, segments, and moments from KFC Radio, past and present, just a few minutes long, so you can keep up with the podcast and all of our greatest moments if you don't have time to watch the full episode. So head on over there. There's a link in the description below. Click that, subscribe, and then come back and catch the full episode. Thank you.